Good morning. So we'll start session 3 on chapter chemical reactions and equation. In our previous class, we understood what is a chemical reaction and what is a chemical equation. Why one should balance the chemical equation. We understood in our yesterday's class. Then we concluded our class by discussing about the 4 types of reaction. It was combination reaction, decomposition reaction, displacement reaction and double displacement reaction. In today's class, we will study about these reactions in detail. The first one, combination reaction. Now, what does the word combination will tell you? Combining. That means I am combining something to get a new product, right? The similar way, combination reaction is a type of reaction where we combine 2 reactants to get one product. That means a reaction in which a single product is formed from 2 or more reactant. Correct? I just told in the other way, both are similar. We get a single product when we combine 2 or more reactant. We combine 2 or more reactant to form a single product. Example, I take an apple, I take a banana, I mix that. What do I get? I get a smoothie, right? Same thing. 2 or more products are mixed to form a single product. Such a simple one reaction is called as a combination reaction. Here A is one, A and B are the 2 different reactants. They are reacting with each other and forming one product. Again, the very first example also, if you say magnesium burnt with oxygen, what do you get? Magnesium oxide, right? So 2. See how many products, how many reactants are there? 2 reactant, 1 product is formed. That is also an example of combination reaction. I have written one example here. Calcium oxide mixed with water gives me calcium hydroxide. Now again observe here, solid, water is liquid. Why? Because water exists in liquid form. Now when I mix calcium oxide in water, I get calcium hydroxide. That means calcium hydroxide, what is formed is an aqueous form, because a solid is mixed in liquid. That is why it is aqueous. Understood the meaning of liquid and aqueous? Yes. There are few terms what you have to know here. Calcium oxide is also called as lime or quicklime. Now do not get confused between the lemon and lime. Both are 2 opposite terms here. Calcium oxide is also called as lime or quicklime. So when quicklime is added to water, we actually get slaked lime, which is nothing but lime water. If you anytime get into a school laboratory, please check for this things. You have things called as lime water written on a bottle. That is nothing but calcium hydroxide. So how do you prepare calcium hydroxide? When we mix calcium oxide with water, that is quicklime added to water gives us calcium hydroxide, which is nothing but slaked lime. Now since we have written this equation, little bit more information I would like to give you about the equation. The thing over here is, now the substance what we use for whitewashing. You all know what is whitewashing, right? Yes. The substance what we use for whitewashing is calcium oxide actually. That we mix in water and we get calcium hydroxide. Correct? That is what we apply. Now once you apply that whitewashing and leave it for 2 or 3 days, by the action of carbon dioxide on it, it gives a shiny coating layer on the walls. This is a natural phenomena which will happen. So this calcium hydroxide, when it is passed with carbon dioxide gas, we get calcium carbonate plus water is released. Now calcium carbonate is also the formula of marble also. Now marble, when we talk about, that is also calcium carbonate, and here what it forms on the wall, the layers of the wall, that is also calcium carbonate. This is just an additional information what I had to give you. It is there in your book, but you should know what it is. If asked what is combination reaction, give an example. You can write this you can either write this example, magnesium ribbon example, or simple calcium oxide plus water gives you calcium hydroxide. This example what you can give, or hydrogen plus oxygen will give you what? Water, correct? 2 and 2. Any two reactant when you combine and you get a single product is called as a combination reaction. Now whenever I give an example on the board here, I might only give you one or two, not more than that. In the book you will come across many examples. Make a note of those examples. Tomorrow when you go through the chapter, you come across many such things. Now carbon plus oxygen will give you carbon dioxide. This is also an example of combination reaction. I have written here, burning of coal, carbon and oxygen gives you carbon dioxide. Any two reactant, if they are combining and forming one product, that is an example for combination reaction, right? Now, this what I have explained you now about calcium oxide, which gives mixed with water gives you calcium hydroxide. A 3 marks or 1 mark sometimes question may be asked in it, right? We'll discuss about that later. Next reaction we'll go with here is about decomposition reaction. Now decomposition is complete opposite of combination reaction what we have studied. Combination was combining two things to form one thing. Decomposition is you have one compound, so that compound is broken down into simpler molecules, right? That means we have AB as one compound, we break down that and we form two simpler molecules or two simpler compounds. For example, I have written AB is one broken down into two. So that is, now how do we break down? For example, if I have a pen, this is one whole thing according to this. I apply some energy, break this into 2 or 3 pieces. That means some external energy is required, correct? In decomposition reaction, some external thing is given. What is that external thing? Let us see. A reaction in which a single reactant breaks down to give simpler product, right? You can always jot down in your own words, but see to that the technical terms they are present. Reactant, breaking down, product, all those terms should be used. A single reactant breaks down to give simpler product is called as decomposition reaction. That means you are decomposing it from a given whole set of things. Now how do we decompose it? We decompose that by 3 methods. Thermal decomposition, electrolytic decomposition and photo decomposition. Thermal decomposition, thermal means heat. That means we are providing heat to decompose the given thing to break down to simpler 2 or 3 molecules or product. Electrolytic decomposition means by passing electricity, right? Photo decomposition means by giving or by passing it or by exposing it to sunlight. Let us first go with thermal decomposition. What is thermal decomposition? The decomposition when a single react, same example, same definition. A reaction in which a single reactant breaks down to give a simpler product under the presence of heat. That means by providing external heat. How do we provide? By applying pressure, temperature, etc. Can you see here? What mark is this? We have discussed about this yesterday. When we have written a delta form or a triangle, that is nothing but heat. You can either write this or you can write heat, anything. Or if a specific temperature is mentioned, you can write that temperature here. So what is happening? Ferrous sulfate on providing heat is broken down to simpler product in the form of ferric oxide and sulfur dioxide. Shall I put an arrow mark here? Yes. Why? These are the gases. This is also gas. Sulfur dioxide and sulfur trioxide gases are released. Right? So, these are the things which are decomposed when we pass heat to this. This is thermal decomposition. Electrolytic decomposition, that means passing electricity. When we take water in a beaker or a container and pass electricity to it, we can separate the components of water to hydrogen and oxygen. Yes, we can do that. There is an experiment. We will be discussing about the experiment after we complete the type of reaction. What is electrolytic decomposition? How it is carried out with water? A method of electrolytic decomposition. A very important question. So, water is broken down to hydrogen and oxygen only by passing electricity. Now, I can't pass heat or I can't expose to sunlight to get hydrogen and oxygen there. That means I have to pass electricity only. So, this is for electrolytic decomposition. Photo decomposition. Photo is sunlight. We call photosynthesis. So, by exposing it to sunlight, they are broken down to simpler product. Silver chloride, Ag stands for silver. Silver chloride, when exposed to sunlight, gives silver metal and chlorine gas is liberated. Silver bromide, when exposed to sunlight, gives silver metal and bromine gas is liberated. So, this phenomena is actually used in black and white photography. How? The photographic paper has a coat of silver chloride which turns into grey when exposed to sunlight. So, this phenomena is used in black and white photography. So, there we completed two types of reaction. Now, let us see the third reaction, that is displacement reaction. Yeah, I would like to make one correction here. Ferric oxide, when it is formed, that is when we decompose ferrous sulfate by passing heat, ferric oxide is obtained, right? Ferric oxide is solid in nature, not gases. I have written gases, so make that solid. Now, before we go to the next reaction, let's finish marking the arrow marks wherever the gases are liberated. That means here, ferric oxide is a solid. It releases sulfur dioxide gas and sulfur trioxide gas. Electrolytic decomposition, when electricity is passed through water, the hydrogen gas and oxygen gases are liberated. Correct? How do I know? I have put an arrow mark here. Similarly, photo decomposition, when silver chloride is exposed to sunlight, we get silver metal and chlorine gas is liberated. When silver bromide is exposed to sunlight, we get silver metal and bromine gas is liberated. It is simple. When we take the silver bromide or silver chloride in just a plate and expose it to sunlight, a greyish powdery metal is formed. That is what it is, what we tell here. So, this is how we write with the symbols and with the arrow marks to represent what it is. Like in yesterday's class, we understood the conditions where we write if it is heated, sunlight, electricity, or if a gas is liberated, we write precipitation. We are yet to study about that. We move on to the next reaction, that is displacement reaction. Now, the word displacement means what? Displacing something. Now, displacing what? For example, you have a sprint in your school, right? So, who displaces whom there? The stronger player always displaces a weaker player. Am I right? A weaker player cannot be displacing a stronger player. Yeah, by chance it can happen, but always what we always see is a stronger player or a stronger candidate always replaces a weaker candidate. That is how it happens here also, same thing. A stronger metal always, or a stronger element, metal we can say, always replaces a weaker one. Now, how do you know which is stronger and which is not? We actually understand that by reactivity series when we study metals and non-metals chapter. All the chapters in chemistry what we study, for example, chemical reaction equation, acid, basis and salt, metals and non-metals, all are interlinked with each other. We understand the reactivity series of the metals which are more reactive than what? For example, if I have to say zinc is more reactive than iron and more reactive than copper. That means zinc stands first, then iron, then copper. That means here, can copper replace zinc? No. Can copper replace iron? No. Can zinc replace iron? Yes. Can zinc replace copper? Yes. Can iron replace copper? Yes. You can go in this way, but you cannot come this way. Got this point? Just remember these things. Now let us see the definition wise. A chemical reaction in which a more reactive element displaces a less reactive element from its compound is called as a displacement reaction. The words are very important here. The more reactive element displaces a less reactive element from a compound is called a displacement reaction. Now example, I have just taken A and BC I have taken because A is one metal and BC is a metal, non-metal or a salt, anything. So here what has happened here, A has combined with C and it is displaced and B has formed here. How? Let us see with an example. Zinc reacting with hydrochloric acid. Now zinc reacting with hydrochloric acid, that means we get zinc chloride, it replaced hydrogen and hydrogen gas is liberated. Zinc reacting with copper sulfate. Now zinc can replace copper, correct? What is formed? Zinc sulfate. Sulfates are nothing but those respective salts. You will study that later. Zinc sulfate plus copper. Now copper is not a gas here. Copper is formed. Either it is formed as a granules or anything. We get copper. You can say it precipitates sometimes. Okay, we will write, but it is not actually the precipitation reaction. Usually double displacement reactions are all precipitation reaction. But sometimes here what has happened, copper is deposited, what we can see. It will not precipitate, it gets deposited, right? Depositing is different from precipitation. Remember that one thing. Next, copper plus zinc sulfate. Do I get copper sulfate? No, because copper cannot replace zinc. That you should know. So no reaction takes place. Iron plus zinc sulfate. Iron and zinc, no. So no reaction takes place. Silver and copper nitrate. No reaction takes place. Where silver cannot replace copper. Copper is much more reactive than silver. So everything will not get displaced here. Only the element which is more reactive element displaces the lesser reactive element, right? So did you understand the meaning of now precipitation and deposition? Yes. There are experiments for this also. We will see that it is simple experiments. These can be even done in your laboratories also. And then precipitation reactions, when we talk about, those are all double displacement reaction, which we'll be doing it in our next class. So in our tomorrow's class, we will discuss the fourth type and the last type of reaction, that is double displacement reaction. Now here single displacement is happening. Double displacement reaction, what will happen? Mutual exchange of ions will happen. How is it? We'll see that in our tomorrow's class. Along with that, as we study types of reaction, there are some reactions which are involved in energy. That means the energy the reaction which takes energy or it works only when energy is supplied to it. We have such reaction which are nothing but endothermic reaction, and the reaction which releases energy when it takes place, those are called as exothermic reaction. We will be doing that in our tomorrow's class. So in today's class, whatever we have done, if you have any doubt, you can call on the same day of the video set. Thank you.